Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Kirby Superstar Ultra. In the last episode, we went through Dynablade. And now in this episode, we're going to begin tackling the Great Cave Offensive. Kirby finds himself lost in a deep cave full of peril and treasure. Find all 60 treasures and get out safely. And here we are, in the Great Cave Offensive. Now, this sub-game works a little bit differently than the two we're used to, which we'll see in a minute, but as you can see down there from the map, there is several areas that you'll have to explore, and in each there are treasures, such as the gold medal, worth 10,000 G. Now, I will be going over, well, not really going over, I'll be mentioning what each one is called, and what the price is. But yes, there are treasures in the game, as you can see here on this map. They're split into 4 different areas. This little thing here shows you what the price is, what they're called, and it's split into 4, so you can tell which treasures are in which area, which is not a thing that was in the original, which I'm glad they added that back in. Or not back in, they added that, like, in general. Right there is a trap. We have to avoid hitting that metal block, otherwise we wouldn't have been able to get the next treasure, which is right down here. The whip. Price 6,800 G. So yeah, most, if not all doors in this subgame also are like both ways, as opposed to a bunch of doors in the regular modes that are only one way. But for now, let's grab let's grab Wing, because we have another puzzle, I think, to our left. Yep, we have a bunch of switch puzzles where you have to hit switches in time in order to get through the doors, or that happens and you miss out. And you have to go through these doors here to start the puzzle over again. Great Cave Offensive is honestly one of my favorite sub-games. It's pretty long, honestly. Way longer than the other 3 we've had so far. But it is really fun. Like, just going around and finding all the different crystal ball, 200,000 G, finding all of the treasures that are found throughout the 4 areas. Like, most of it's really fun. Area 3 aside, but we'll get to Area 3 later. The old tower is not that fun. Yeah, honestly, I'd probably rank this as, like, maybe my second or third favorite of the sub-games. You'll see one later that I just like more, but yeah. Lucky Cat. Price 500 G. So right here, traveling through some more jet streams. And that block up there just takes you back if you missed the puzzle from earlier. With that in mind, let's head back and let's go through the door to the next room. Right up there is another treasure, as you can see. There should be a switch nearby to activate it. And right there we have that statue head. I wonder what that does. Yep, statue heads act as switches a lot in this mode. But as you can see, the thing dropped into lava because we accidentally destroyed the block it was on. So now let's try and go back to the door. And let's get rid of Wing so we don't accidentally break the block again. And now let's go back up and hit it again. I don't remember if we've covered Beam last episode. It's actually been like a month since I last recorded these episodes. Despite you guys getting them on a Seiryu Sword, 142,000 G. Despite you guys getting them back-to-back over weeks. So for that sake, I'm just gonna go over all of the top abilities at a later point. There's a mode where I feel it will be perfect later on to actually cover them. But another treasure. Echigo Candy, 8,000 G. I'm not sure what an Echigo Candy is. Maybe it's some Japanese candy. I'm not super familiar with that kind of stuff. And another treasure. Screw Attack, 80,000 G. Hey, that's from Metroid. Yeah, a lot of the items are actually stuff from other Nintendo games. Like, I think Captain Falcon's helmet shows up later in the Triforce and stuff, and there's a Koopa Shell, I believe. There's a lot of that stuff. Actually, speaking of Metroid, I'm playing through Dread right now, and it's really good. Like, seriously, if you haven't played Dread on Nintendo Switch yet, go play Metroid Dread. It's really fun. Like, it was certainly worth the 15-year wait between this and Fusion. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, a lot of items in it are Nintendo stuff. There are also a few items in here that are changed from the original, which we'll get to in a minute. Actually, I think the next treasure is quite literally just one from one that changed from the original. And time for another treasure, I think. Yeah, right there. It's the Phantom Ass, 278,000 G. Yeah, that isn't the one that I thought it was. Thought we were getting to the Seasonal Heart, which you'll see in a minute, but the Seasonal Heart is one of the ones that changed from the original. So before we do that, let's head left, because I did skip a door. I actually forget what was in this door. I think it's like... Okay, at first I thought it was another area, but... Oh, it's the save room, that's right. So across the Great Cave Offensive, you'll find a bunch of these, like, save doors, which take you to specialty save rooms, since obviously there's no proper level structure in this area. Or in the subgame, rather. So save doors, I mean, it's little save platforms, they let you save the game, and they also heal you to full, which is pretty useful, especially later in the old tower, which, once again, we'll get to. Yeah, we killed Bonkers. He's still super easy. Like, I don't really have much to say. I feel if something pops up, I'll chime in, but I feel like until then, I don't really have much to say. Starstone, 82,100 G. So we're currently at 9 of the 60, almost 6th of the way through. And at last, treasure 10, the Beast's Fang at 7,300 G. And here we are, going into the next room, if I'm correct. Yeah, here we are. This is where we did our introduction into rope platforms. These are hung up by ropes, obviously, and they can only be cut down by certain power-ups, or capabilities. I I believe it's only sword and cutter that can get them down. Yeah, they like to put these over bottomless pits, which you'll see in just a sec. Yeah, that's the thing. You know, honestly, like, okay, well, while I don't have much to talk about, let me talk about, like, the pixel art or whatever for this game, because the sprite art for this game is really well done. Like, these are probably my favorite set of Kirby sprites across the whole franchise. Bandana 1190G. And, like, beyond this and Sweet Slot, we didn't really get, like any more DS Kirby games that actually really use these sprite sets. Well, like, there was Mass Attack, but that used an entirely different sprite for Kirby, I believe. And then, Canvas Curse didn't really use the traditional Kirby sprite at all. Also, that Tack just stole our copy ability. Tack is another enemy we'll see later. The Seasons Art, here it is, 250,000 G. So in the original, the Seasons Art was actually 4 separate hearts, named Springtime, Summertime, and so on. Which those 4 hearts have been essentially consolidated into one treasure instead. I believe it was still 60 in the original, but I believe they just switched that out for 3 new ones. Which I appreciate. It's nice having some new treasures in here instead of just having 4 slots taken up by nearly identical hearts. Anyway, here's another boss. This is Fatty Whale. And honestly, Fatty Whale is at least more challenging than the bosses we've had so far. Because he's actually gonna hurt you. He doesn't do, like, 0 damage. And his attacks aren't super easy to dodge. Though he is still pretty easy. He really only has 3 attacks. One where he moves from side to side, one where he does that spin, and one where he shoots water into the air. Or he slams the ground and shoots you into the air with water. And then rocks fall down. Yeah, that attack there. But like, Fatty Whale can still leave us in trouble. Fortunately, his sword doesn't take chip damage from his attacks, so like you can just hit the block button and you'll be fine. Yeah, that's Fatty Whale. And with that, I think we're safe to move on into the next area. So between areas, they have these little transitional bits with the minecart. What I should check the treasures at. Okay, so apparently I missed a treasure back there, the second treasure. Like I said, that menu things, they're very useful, so we're back. Sorry for the jump cut. I decided no one wanted to watch me trek all the way back. But here's the second treasure we missed. Gold coin at 1000 G. So, if you don't mind, I'm just gonna go back to where I previously was. And we're back here in the room. So let's hop in the minecart here, and we'll go to the next area. So, of course, while you have the cart ability, nothing can hurt you, except the, like, insta-kill stuff like the pits. Which I'm not sure if they actually had a pit at all in this segment. I thought one of the later ones did. But with that, we now head into the next major area. Crystal. So let's head down. I believe there's 2 treasures in this room. I think. If we go past the door, there should be 1. Yep, the dime at 10G, fittingly. Makes sense. Dime's only 10 cents, so... And then here's another treasure. The glass slipper at 120,000 G. And a 1-up. So that out of the way, now let's head back to the door. And down there is 3 more doors. And a save room. But before we go on to those 3 rooms down there, we should probably go save first just to heal up at least. So let's go do that.